Today, Palm Springs lost two brave officers. They go out every day and put their boots on the ground for everybody in this community. They gave it all for you. Those are our two deceased officers. The third officer has been also wounded. He's alert, he's doing well, and he's providing investigators with updated information. Please understand, this is going to be extremely difficult for me. I might be repeating some information that's already been shared. I just want to make sure everybody gets this. On October 8th, at approximately 12:18 hours, Palm Springs police officers were dispatched to the 2700 block of Cypress Road. A female caller reported that her adult son was causing a disturbance at the residence. Upon arrival, 3 officers attempt to make contact with the male subject at the front door. The male refused to open the door and threatened to shoot the officers through the closed door. Approximately 10 minutes into this call for service, the first 2 officers arrived on scene. Approximately 10 minutes after the first 2 officers arrived on scene, a request for emergency assistance was broadcast, and they announced that shots had been fired. 3 officers were injured in the gunfire. All 3 officers were transported to local hospital. 2 of the 3 officers are deceased. The deceased officers, Officer Jose Gil Vega. He is a 35-year veteran of the Palm Springs Police Department. He was due to retire in December. He was working on a shift he was not scheduled to work on. He chose to work overtime today. The second officer is Leslie Zrebny, 27 years old. She's been on our police department for a year and a half. She just gave birth to a 4-month-old baby 4 months ago. She just returned to duty recently. Those are our 2 deceased officers. The third officer has been also wounded. He's alert, he's doing well, and he's providing investigators with updated information. I want to thank the support of our entire city council and department heads and our city manager. From the onset, they dropped whatever they were doing, wherever they were at, and they immediately came to support the guardians of our city. Today, Palm Springs lost 2 brave officers. They go out every day and put their boots on the ground for everybody in this community. They gave it all for you. I also want to thank the Cathedral City Police Department, California Highway Patrol, Riverside Sheriff's Department, Beaumont Police Department, Banning Police Department, Riverside Central Homicide, District Attorney's Investigations Unit, and I'm sure I left out a couple other agencies. The current situation in the 2700 block of Cypress is there is a house that is surrounded. We've turned over the investigation to the Central Homicide Unit of the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. They are taking the lead in this investigation. The fluid situation in regards to the surrounded house is being handled by Riverside County SWAT team. Absolutely, the suspect is still at large. We do not know his exact whereabouts at this time. We're actively pursuing leads. A number of different agencies are actively pursuing some leads at this time. The officers, from what I understand, were at the front, near the front door, trying to negotiate with the suspect to just comply. It was a simple family disturbance, and he elected to open fire on a few of the guardians of this city.
Could you give us the spellings of the names of the deceased, please?
Jose, Jose, Gilbert, often referred as Gil, last to Vega, Vega. The other officer is Leslie, Lesley, last of Zerebny. The suspect we're working up right now, who we believe is responsible for it, during my next update, I will provide a history of the calls for service, and if I can release a name at that time, I will, as well as a history of our involvement with this suspect.
But as of right now, you don't want to give a description and who the community should be on the lookout for?
You know, I'd love to do that right now, but what my primary focus is to notify the family members, and I apologize for the delay in notifying you as of right now, but right now it is a Central Homicide Unit investigation, and I try to get this information out to you as quick as possible. As soon as I coordinate the communication with Central Homicide Unit, I will provide you with the most up-to-date information.
Could he be outside the containment area?
Yes.
Is that community on lockdown, and how wide is the perimeter? What should people do?
Do we have any update on that? Apparently several blocks, the perimeter is several blocks. And again, we'll be more accurate, more detailed as we give another update in the next hour.
What resources do you have out searching for the suspect? I saw a helicopter there. What other resources are you?
We have a tremendous amount of resources. We have all the listed agencies that I've just discussed. I've been contacted by the chiefs of police from every agency in the entire valley. I've been contacted by agencies as far as the LA County Sheriff's Department, willing to send teams out here to assist.
And when and where will the next briefing be?
The next briefing will be right here, approximately an hour from now.
Okay. How are you and your officers doing right now?
I am awake in a nightmare right now. That's me. But you know what? As a chief of police for this police department, I got to step forward and stay focused. And I got some very qualified managers here that'll take a bunch of aspects of this investigation, and we will press forward. We got tremendous support from our community, and there's no doubt with the support of the community, our police department, our management, and the entire city council and our city manager, we will press forward and do what we need to do, not only in regards to catching the suspect, but addressing the needs of the family.
A California man with mental issues who told his father that he wanted to shoot cops killed 2 cops and wounded a third before disappearing in Palm Springs Saturday afternoon. The shooting took place at 5 p.m. ET, and the killer was still at large at 7:50 p.m. Palm Springs police said they were responding to a case of domestic abuse when the man opened fire on them. The man who called police, Frank Serrano, lives across the street from where the shooting took place. He told local media that he was trying to help out the suspect's father, who walked across the street and asked for help. According to the Desert Sun, Francis Serrano, who lives directly across the street from where the shooting took place, spoke to the father of the suspected shooter moments before the incident. The father told Serrano that his son, who has mental issues, had a gun and wanted to shoot police officers. He came over and asked for help, she said. Serrano called the police and the father walked back toward his house. Soon after, Serrano heard gunshots. Later police knocked on Serrano's door. At 2:45 p.m., Serrano said 2 officers were on her front patio kneeling on the ground with rifles pointed at the shooter's house. The slain police were Leslie Zerebny and Jose Gilbert Gil Vega. Reyes said Vega was a 35-year veteran who was due to retire in December and had chosen to work overtime on Saturday. Zerebny is the mother of a 4-month-old baby, he said. At this time, the shooter apparently is holed up in a home surrounded by police and armored cars. The shooting took place 2 days after a Los Angeles sheriff's deputy was shot and killed responding to a burglary call. We will update this as we get more information.